Hey guys, come hang out. All right, just need. I think that should be good. Oop, there we go. Just need to get the sound working. There we go.
But none provoke the same visceral, instinctive revulsion as Mitsukurina austoni, the goblin shark. It is not its size or even its pink, flabby skin that haunts us. It is the jaw. A biological impossibility. Needle-toothed jaws, seemingly detached from the skull, launch forward. They rocket out with a speed that defies the creature's otherwise sluggish nature. It looks less like a bite and more like an alien appendage bursting from its face. This is the very definition of thalassophobia. It is a mechanism that appears broken, monstrous, and deeply unnatural.
But is it?
But is it? Now, let's dive into the data and uncover the reality hidden in the deep. To understand this mechanism, we must first meet the animal it belongs to. The goblin shark is a living fossil, a ghost in the deep, and it is, by all measures, an incredibly slow and soft-bodied creature. This contrast between the sluggish animal and its lightning-fast strike is the core of the paradox we must solve. This creature is a member of the deep-sea family Mitsukurinidae. At first glance, it appears almost placid, drifting slowly through the Bath-Yal zone. Its most prominent feature, that long, blade-like snout, isn't even part of the attack. That rostrum is an electrosensory organ, covered in ampullae of Lorenzini. It is designed to detect the faint bioelectric fields of prey hiding in the sediment. It finds its food not by sight, but by sensing the faintest heartbeat. Then, the strike happens. In an instant, the creature's placid face erupts.
What are we watching?
What we think we see is a slingshot mechanism. The common assumption, the one that fuels the nightmare, is that the shark is storing energy. We imagine it pulling its jaws back like a rubber band, building elastic tension, and then releasing it. This perception is what makes it so terrifying. It implies a level of biological artillery, a spring-loaded trap. This idea of a slingshot jaw is so pervasive it's become accepted fact in pop science. But it's visually wrong. When we analyze the high-speed footage captured by researchers like those at NOAA, we don't see the jaws being drawn back into the skull to build tension. We see them resting in a normal position, and then they launch. The speed is astonishing, reaching velocities over 3 meters per second. For a creature this soft and slow, this acceleration is a physical paradox. It defies the shark's own biology. The entire apparatus, the palata quadrate and Meckel's cartilages, the jaws themselves, are not spring-loaded. They are loosely tethered. This is where the fear peaks. We are witnessing a mechanism that makes no intuitive sense. If it's not a slingshot, then what force is projecting those jaws? How can a creature create this level of explosive power without any visible cocking mechanism? This disconnect between what we see and what we understand is the essence of this creature's monster status. This isn't just a bite. It's a ballistic event that seems to violate the very rules of its own soft-bodied biology. We are left with a terrifying void in our understanding. A creature that moves like a ghost, but strikes like a cannon. The slingshot theory is an attempt to explain the impossible. But the truth, as documented in biomechanical studies, is far more elegant and infinitely more fascinating. The slingshot theory is a complete myth. It is a compelling story we tell ourselves to make sense of a biological event that defies our intuition. But the physical evidence, revealed through detailed biomechanical analysis, points to something far more ingenious. The secret to the goblin shark's strike is not elasticity. It is hydraulic physics. What we are seeing is not a spring-loaded trap, but a biological cannon. And the shark's own mouth is the hydraulic chamber. Forget the jaws for a moment. They are not the engine of the attack, they are merely the projectile. The true engine is hidden. It is a massive, powerful piece of cartilage at the base of the shark's mouth. This is the basihyal, which, in simple terms, is the shark's tongue.
I don't like it.
This tongue is connected to the shark's powerful coracoid muscles. These are the same massive muscle groups that other sharks use to powerfully suck in water for breathing or suction feeding. But the goblin shark has weaponized this system. It is not a slingshot. It is a precision-engineered hydraulic ram powered by a massive, backward-firing piston. Here is the true anatomy of the strike, step by step. First, the shark drifts close to its prey, detecting it with its electrosensory rostrum.
Where did it snap?
It opens its mouth slightly. Then, the power stroke. the shark fires its coracoid muscles. But instead of just pulling water in, this contraction violently yanks the enormous basihyal, the tongue, backward into the throat. This happens with incredible force. The shark's pharynx, its throat, is a closed chamber filled with incompressible water. When this massive piston of a tongue is pulled backward, it creates an instantaneous and massive void at the front of the mouth. This is not a gentle suction. It is an explosive, catastrophic drop in pressure. A powerful vacuum. Physics abhors a vacuum. Something must rush in to fill that new low-pressure space. The prey is too far away and the water is too slow. The only thing that can move fast enough is the shark's own jaw apparatus, which, as we noted, is very loosely tethered to the skull. The jaws are not pushed out. They are pulled forward by the violent vacuum created behind them. This is the antidote to the myth.
None of this makes any sense.
The slingshot theory was wrong because it looked for power in the wrong place. It assumed the jaws were storing energy. But the power is in the body. The jaws are just the delivery system. This hydraulic ram mechanism perfectly explains the paradoxes. Why is it so fast? Because it's not limited by the contraction speed of a few small jaw muscles. It is powered by the body's largest ventral muscles, and the force is transmitted instantaneously by the incompressible water. The pressure drop is immediate, and so is the jaw's reaction. Why does it look so alien? Because it is a ballistic event. The jaws are literally being fired from their resting position and flung forward by a force differential until they are caught by the ligaments at their maximum extension, a full 10% of the shark's body length.
I don't think I've seen a single shark.
This is not a monster.
Multiple rows of teeth.
This is not a broken, dislocating, unnatural strike.
That is not a goblin shark.
What we are witnessing is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, a creature that has turned the very water it breathes into the working fluid for a hydraulic cannon. It's a system that allows a creature built for slow, silent cruising to achieve a localized strike speed that is almost unmatched. It doesn't need to be fast because its jaws are. The mechanism itself is the adaptation, and it is a perfect, elegant solution to a deep-sea problem. It is the ultimate ambush. It is a perfect expression of physics, hidden within a form we mistook for a nightmare. This demystification of the mechanism is the first part of the antidote. But to truly dispel the fear, we must move from the how to the why. Why evolve this system? Why develop a hydraulic cannon when a simple, powerful bite has served sharks for 400 million years? The answer lies in a fundamental evolutionary mismatch. Look at the shark's body. It is a creature of the deep bathyal zone, an environment of crushing pressure, low oxygen, and scarce food. To survive here, the goblin shark has evolved to be a low-energy specialist. Its muscles are soft, its skeleton is poorly calcified, and its body is flabby and neutrally buoyant. It is, by all definitions, a sluggish and slow-moving animal. Now, look at its prey. We know from stomach contents that it hunts fast-moving targets. Agile deep-sea squid, quick-darting fish, and scuttling crustaceans. This is the core of the problem. How does a slow predator catch fast prey? A mako shark solves this with sheer explosive speed. A great white solves it with immense power. The goblin shark cannot afford the massive metabolic cost of either of those strategies. It cannot win a chase, so it has evolved to make the chase irrelevant. The projectile jaw is the great equalizer, a highly specialized weapon that completely decouples the speed of the strike from the speed of the shark's body. This is the brilliant implication. The shark's body can remain a slow, silent, energy-efficient platform. It doesn't need to move quickly, it just needs to get its sensory rostrum, that long, blade-like nose, close enough to detect the faint electrical whisper of a hidden fish. The jaw does all the work. That 10% body length protrusion, that is its reach. It allows the shark to strike from a distance where its own slow-moving body has not yet alarmed the prey. The prey detects the shark, but by then, the jaws are already in motion. The strike is a ballistic event, and the prey's reaction time is simply too slow to evade it. This is the anatomy of the ambush. The monstrous snout is a hypersensitive detection array. The flabby body is a low-energy, silent-running chassis. And the nightmare jaw? It is a precision tool, a hydraulic ram that provides localized, overwhelming speed. Exactly where it is needed, and only when it is needed. It is the most energy-efficient solution to a classic predator-prey problem. This is not a monster. This is a master of evolutionary specialization. It has weaponized a physical principle to overcome its own biological limitations. And so we complete our journey from fear to understanding. We began with a creature that haunts the public imagination. A predator defined by a single, terrifying, and seemingly impossible action. The fear we felt was genuine, but it was rooted in a profound misunderstanding. We saw a mechanism that appeared to break the very rules of biology. It looked chaotic, violent, and unnatural. But But the reality, hidden in the language of physics, is a perfect example of order. What we mistook for monstrosity was, in fact, a quiet, calculated elegance. The goblin shark is not a brute, lashing out with a broken face. It is a supremely adapted specialist, a master of its own extreme environment. It is a creature that solved an impossible evolutionary problem, not with metabolic strength, but with a brilliant grasp of fluid dynamics. It turned the very water in its own throat into a weapon more potent than muscle. This is the true power of scientific observation. It is the only tool that can lead us from instinctive revulsion to profound awe. This, then, is the final antidote, the understanding that in the deep sea, nothing is truly monstrous. It is only, and always, necessary. The goblin shark's jaw is not a flaw. It is a physical marvel, a testament to 125 million years of evolutionary refinement. It is a living fossil, a hydraulic engineer, and a perfect survivor. It is no longer a monster.
None of that made sense at all. Thanks for watching.